Hello everyone, my name is Shona and today I will be your tutor and we're going to learn how to import our 3D models from Maya into Substance Painter for painting. So let's get started. Okay, so I have pre-made my file. Let's just open it up. So save. Thank you. So I've already 3D modeled this. It's just a simple little doll model. And one thing I'm going to do is we're going to go smooth her hair out. It's perfect. She's already smooth, so I don't want her to be in smooth mode. So I'm going to bring up my UV editor. I've already UV unwrapped this. That's a completely different tutorial. Let me do both two of them. So this is the UV unwrap. Now I have a different tutorial about UV unwrapping. You can go and check that out in our playlists, our video playlist. But two things you need to worry about. Make sure that your UVs are clean. I like to make them as clean and fit into their tile. In Substance Painter, it doesn't really matter if you have them on different tiles. In the past, Photoshop required you to only use this one tile here. If you could figure out how to do it on different tiles, you can totally do that as well, but typically you'd have the one object on the one tile. Now this only allowed you to have everything on one tile, but it also didn't give you like 4K kind of definition. It was very 1K, you know. Second thing, let's go to UV mode, UV shell. Substance Painter does not like if you have your UVs very close to the edge, so you want to give them at least a decent amount of border, not only in between your UVs. This is the bottom of my doll, so I don't really care if it's small or not, because nobody's going to look at the bottom of the doll. But you want to make sure that there is a nice like half-inch border or so away from the edge, because if you have it like touching right here, let me bring it a little bit closer. That's good. So about right there. Let me turn these on. Substance Painter does not open the file. It will either not open the file, especially if it's like sharing a tile with something else. It will either not open the file, or it will import the tiles in a really strange way, and they won't look right. So to avoid all of that, just make sure you have a nice little border, so that way it's like clean and it's not sharing anything. You also don't want your UVs touching like that, because if they are touching, you know, remember, even though they're supposedly related, if they are touching and you try to start painting this in Substance Painter, it will start to go over to the other side, and it's really a pain to try to like contain that. You want to make sure they have their own little space, they're not touching each other, they're comfortable where they're at, okay? We're going to go back to object mode. So, we have the hair and the doll. I had two dolls in here, so I'm going to make sure I'm going to pull that one out. That one doesn't have any hair, but I'm not going to use that doll today, so we're going to hide her. Thank you. So we're going to put a doll in here in the same, and I'm going to change it to doll. Okay, so doll. I'm going to make sure they doesn't have any history. The hair does, so I'm going to delete by type history, and I'm going to freeze transforms. Yeah, center pivot, that's good. center the pivot and everything. So she's all zeroed out. You want it clean. Oh, this is going to be so cute. And I'm just going to select this, and we're going to go to File, and we're going to go Export Selection. Now you can either do it from here, or just select it. Let me throw this over here so you can see it. I'm going to change this from Maya Binary to FBX. You can either save it as you can export it as an FBX or an OBJ into Substance Painter. Either one of these two file types work. I typically go with FBX, but you want to scroll down to make sure it doesn't save namespaces, because it loves to do that. I don't see the option, so let's, yeah, it's gone. Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that. No namespace. Extension. Okay, so export selection. And I already set my scene. So I've already set my scene. It's gonna be here, and we're gonna do doll. Okay, so that's saved. Make sure you save it for Maya. We're gonna minimize, and we're gonna bring up Substance Painter. I'm gonna set this. Okay, so when you open Substance Painter, it will ask you something about the drive. Just says continue anyways. I think it's been doing that for a while, and I know there's a setting to get rid of it, but I'm not sure. I have to look that up. But don't worry about it. Just press continue anyway, and you should see this come up depending on what version. I'm not gonna touch this. I'm gonna close that out. This is what you see when you first start, especially in the newer versions. This is how it looks. I'm used to Substance Painter when it before it became a part of Adobe, so I actually prefer certain settings versus what we have now. So if you start painting, you end up getting let's go ahead and do it. Sometimes they give you like a little shader ball guy as a test. So I'm just gonna, yeah, there he is. So I don't want that, but I'm gonna open my file. Let's start. I'm gonna take this, and I'm just gonna throw it there. There we go. So this is what I'm used to. This is how Substance Painter used to look before it became a part of Adobe. And I'm glad that they still allow you to move stuff around, because I don't like it at the side. It's too clunk for me. I don't like clunky stuff. And you notice they have the head, the body, the base, all is separated on different little layer texture sets right there. So before I go over that, I'm going to get my file. So you're going to go File and New Project. This is where you're going to select your template. So I'm going to go to Blend, the blend version. There we go. Here it is. PBR Metallic Roughness Alpha Blend. I like this one because it allows you to have opacity. There are some of these templates that don't allow you to have opacity, and it's a little bit difficult to kind of finesse it to do that. I mean, you can still change it after the fact, but just do it from here for now. I'm going to select the file I need, and now I'm going to have to go search for it because it's Substance Painter doesn't have the same setting as Maya does, so I'm just going to go find it real quick. Where am I? Where am I? There I am. Hello. Hi. So much searching. There you are. There we go. Press open so you can have that. I'm going to change this to 20K. Normally, I was going to keep it at 10. You can even keep it to 4K, but I don't like the computer struggling, so 20K. So this is the part a lot of people forget about. Use UV tile workflow, and I'm going to change it from preserve UV tile layout to convert UV tiles into individual texture sets legacy. This is how you get the layers for hair. I don't need that. I don't need you to auto unwrap. It's already unwrapped. Don't have imported baked maps, so don't worry about that. And we don't have physical size. We're just going to leave that alone. And color management, that is fine. Leave that alone. Pretty much this is what you want. Press OK. Discard. I don't need this guy. Now, perfect. As you can see, she's imported just fine. If I turn this off, you get her body. That's her head. That's the rest of her. You can tumble the same way you would in Maya using the Alt key and the right key or right mouse button to zoom in and out for precise seeking, and scroll wheel also, and Alt plus middle mouse to pan. So it pretty much moves the exact same way that you would in Maya. So if you're used to moving in Maya, this is just a breeze. So next thing, I'm going to go over to the texture sets. I know that's her body, so I'm going to rename this to her body. Not body, body. So this is her head. So we're going to name it head. And then this is her hair. So we're going to name this hair. So you want to keep yourself organized by making sure that everything that you have in your scene is named, because if you keep yourself organized, your workflow is a lot better. So now that that's I'm satisfied with that, just a quick overview, and then we're going to go into the paintings. First things first, that's your texture set. These are your layers. These are some more texture set settings, which I'm going to go over in a second. This is properties in paint. So this is where you're going to control your brushes, your flows, minimum flow size, all of that. Down here is where you'll add your stamps, your stamp shapes, or like textures, different types of stuff you want to put onto your character. The hardness of the brush. And here is where you control the material settings down here. So this is where you're going to get your normal maps, your height map, your metallic, your roughness, and your opacity. That's why that's here, and emissions. Move this down. Under here, this is your assets. This is your regular materials. Here's your smart materials. The smart materials, you have certain settings on these. Certain machinery, leather, all that lovely stuff. We'll go over that in another video, but for now I'm just going to give you a quick overview. And these are your alphas. Yeah, your smart masks. So you can use that as a texture to go over stuff. So if you want to make your doll look dusty or dirty, you can do that using one of these. And these are your filters, so you'd use that for like color balance, color correction, blur. I use blur a lot. Height to normal, height blend, all of that, like little specialty stuff you get to do here. And here are your brushes. Some of them have special settings on them, so they actually move and things like that. So they'll give a certain effect, like water dripping or fractals or stuff like that. So just be aware that, like, so for instance, which one does the little dripping thing? I don't see it yet. This one, I believe, does that weird streaking stuff. It moves around and stuff. That's cool. And this is here's your alphas. So that was this one was smart mask, and this is your alphas. So anything that you want to add to give transparency as well, you can get it from here, as well as your stamps. You can get it from here. So this is basically the bigger version of what this is here as well. And this was your textures. So any textures you want to import yourself, which you can make your own textures in here. You import it, and this is where you're going to find it. You can search for the name. This is another reason why I tell you guys you need to name your stuff, because this way you can find your everything. a lot easier. And I believe this one is your environment, so you can actually change the HDR that's controlling the lighting for here. And with that, you can change the obviously the settings for the size of this. You can do large or medium. Just keep it at medium. Um, this is reset query, open query, and this is where you can import your resources by pressing this little plus sign right here. And you can go project, you can go starter assets, and your assets, so there's specific. All libraries, because why would I want to separate them? Over to your left, this is your general toolbar right here, and on top of that is your other part of your toolbar. You have your brush, you have your eraser, your paint along path, which I don't think I've ever used that, and I don't think I will. This is the projection mode. So you would project a texture or a shape and you'd be able to paint that onto the model itself. Or physical projection, same thing. Aha. This is a polygon fill, which is super useful. We'll go over that. It allows you to, fill in the entire model with one color, and it's a lot easier than having to paint it on. Of course, your smudge tool, your stamp tool. This is going to be useful for getting rid of seams. And yeah, the clone tool. And then you have your, I think this is the marketplace one. Let me see. There we go. So that's the community assets, and this is the export to Photoshop, and this is the community assets, which don't sign in. I'm letting it come up for a sec. You get different textures from Substance Painter. This is their community assets, and I believe these are free, and you are able to use them and download them. Oh, this is so cool. See? Download it. But I do believe you have to have an Adobe thing to do it. It's just something really cool that they have now. And I do believe they have resources updater and yeah, browse 3D assets in marketplace. So you can also go here to look for 3D assets too. Okay, and with that, I'm going to do one more thing and then we'll be ready to start painting for the next time. And go back here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bake this model so that she has her normals. I want to have her, scroll up, her normal map. See all these here? There's nothing here. And I want to have her normal map, her workspace normal map, sorry, her thickness, her position, her height, all of those. I need to be able to have those in order to paint properly, or it's just not going to look right no matter how much times you paint on it. You have to bake your mesh map. So we're going to go to mode, and we're going to bake mesh maps. So in this mode, I don't need this, so I'm going to turn it off. If you can see, all of these guys are selected. I want the ambient occlusion, the curvature, the position, thickness, and I want her height, and I want her opacity. Maybe I want to make something like transparent on her. You never know, so I just want it to have it, just in case. Even if I don't actually use it for the doll, I might. So, and with that, output, I'm going to change that to 2048. Gotta change that. Everything else is fine. I could change it to 48, but because the texture is 2048 already, 20K or 2K, I do not want to change the settings. It might cause an error, so I'm keeping everything consistent just in case. Alright, and I'm just going to, you can either select a specific map, or you can just bake the whole thing. So, I can turn this off and only bake the body. This is useful for like if there's an error, if there is a problem or error on the model itself, like maybe there's a part that doesn't import right, you would fix it in Maya and then re-import it, and you'd be able to, you wouldn't have to do, you wouldn't have to reopen it. You would just need to update the model, and Substance Painter will actually pick up the update. What you would actually also do is you would rebake only that part of the model, or only that texture set. You wouldn't have to do the rest of it. So with that said, let's bake all of these guys so that we can move on to painting. Alright, and she's done. And then we are done. Turn to paint mode. Now, if you notice, before, you didn't have these shadows. Now you do. And so what Substance Painter just did was it was trying to account for other things. See, it's doing the shadow from the hair. It didn't have that before. Just doing the shadow from the hair. And then it was doing it because it wanted to account for other things that would be in the scene, that would cast a shadow, that might give, ambient occlusion, which it does. See? And with that, you are ready to start painting. Thanks for watching, guys. In the next video, we're going to actually start painting that. I already have my references here, and we're going to have so much fun painting this because this is adorable, and I can't wait to start. So, thanks for joining me, guys.